G'day, it's Austin. Over the past 4 years, I've made over $25 million with online business and millions in profit. And in this video, I'm gonna walk you through exactly how to make your first $100,000 as fast as possible. First thing we need to do is choose a path. And so there are many different online business models that you really could use. Throughout my time building online businesses, I've tried being a freelancer, running an agency, doing traditional dropshipping, a bit of affiliate marketing, selling info products. So the purpose of this first step is to first of all realize that all these different online business models can get you to that 100K. I'm sure there's other business models as well, high ticket closing, crypto, if you want to call that a business model, other things as well that can get you to 100,000 as fast as possible. So we just need to pick one. We need to pick a path and we need to stick with it. Now, the reason why this is important to clarify before we continue is that we need direction. If we don't have direction, you're just going to be walking around aimlessly, trying to figure out how to make this money with no clear path to follow. So we need to choose a path and choose an online business model. And for me, the one that made me the most money in my online business journey has been building branded dropshipping stores. I call them customer first e-commerce brands. That was the path that I eventually chose after trying a few different ones over those years. But that's the one I stuck with. And that's the one that's allowed me to make over $13.5 million and millions of that being profit. So number one, we have to choose a path. The next thing is you just have to do the math. You have to break down what is required in order to hit 100K with this particular business model. Now, why this is important is because it gives you clarity. A mistake I made early on in my journey building online businesses is that I wouldn't break down the big number goals that I had into what I'd actually have to do daily, weekly, monthly, how many products I'd have to sell if I was doing e-commerce, how many clients I had to sign when I was running the agency, or even a step further than that, how many cold emails I'd have to send in order to book the number of appointments that I would need to close X number of clients to reach the monthly revenue goal. That level of breaking down the numbers, you do it once at the start and it's well worth the time. The juice is worth the squeeze to figure out the specific math, the numbers that are required. Going through high school, I was like, am I ever going to use math again? Am I going to use all this stuff? Turns out it's extremely important. And knowing how to break down these numbers is going to make your life so much easier when it comes time to actually hit that 100K goal. So just for this example, let's actually break down some math and say, let's say we wanted to hit 10K a month in profit for this example. Now I know if we're going to hit 100K in a year, then it would be 8K or 8.3K a month in profit. Let's just bump that up a little bit, get to the classic online business number of 10K profit a month. Well, with building a customer first e-commerce brand or a branded dropshipping store, you can expect about a 30% net margin. Well, then based on that, we'd need to hit about 30,000 in revenue. Now I'm rounding these numbers just to make them whole numbers. It's not exactly that. And let's say we wanted to hit 30,000 revenue and we had an average order value of about $70, which is pretty standard when you're building a really good dropshipping store and you're selecting your products correctly. Well, then you need 428 orders per month. And if you divide that by 30, you get to 15 orders per day. And so straight away, we've broken down this ambitious goal of 10K profit a month with this business model into the exact number of orders that we need to get per day in order to achieve that. And we keep going, we don't stop here. Well, then we say, look, if we're getting a 30% net margin, let's continue with these numbers. Let's say it's actually a 30% cost of goods because we're using a 3 times markup and then a 30% marketing spend in order to get those sales. Now I know if you add those up, that's 90%, but I'm just using round numbers here instead of getting in the details with 33.333%. Let's just use these and say the other 10% is a buffer, subscription costs, Shopify payment, other tools that you actually need. And so based on that logic, if 30% of our revenue would go towards marketing, because if 30% is profit, 30% goes to the price of the items, the cost of goods, then the remaining 30%, or what would be 40%, would go to marketing. And then if we add in that 10% we talked about before for subscriptions and other tools that you'll need, that leaves us with 30%. And so that 30% is to go towards marketing. And so we can see here, if 30% of that was marketing, that means we'd have to spend about $10,000 over the space of the month in order to achieve the 10K profit target. But take it one step further. What return on ad spend would we need? We'd need a 3 ROAS. For every dollar we put in, if we get $3 out, then we hit our targets. And so here we aim for the 3 ROAS. And what is our target cost per purchase then? Well, based on an average order value of $70, our target cost per purchase is 23. And so if we're able to generate a sale for our product through Facebook advertising, for example, for $23, that would give us a 3 ROAS, and that means we could hit 10K profit per month. Now, our break-even cost per purchase is 46, so anything more than $46 that we pay to Facebook to get a sale would be unprofitable, and the break-even ROAS would be 1.5. So if we go below that ROAS, we know to turn off those particular ads because they're not profitable for us. And so you can see how important it is to break down the numbers and do the math so you can understand So you can see how important it is to break everything down so you can understand the numbers behind your goals. And now we can see this here, it's very clear. We need to be able to spend 10K per month on ads, $333 a day on ads. We need to scale up to that point with a 3 ROAS. If we can do that, everything else checks out. Now, as a beginner or a newbie, you're probably not just going to sink 10K into ads or have it sitting on the side straight away. And so we want to scale up to this point. And before that, use some more organic means to get sales, which is something I'll touch on a bit later in this video. So the second core thing we need to do is do the math. Now, what does that give us? That gives us clarity. That allows us to understand exactly what we need to do to hit our target. Most people, they skip this step and then they wonder why they don't hit the goals. It's because I don't think they really understood what is required in order to hit that goal before they set the target. Number 3, we need to take a slice of a big pie. A lot of people, when building e-commerce stores, think they need to revolutionize a whole new product or build something brand new and change everything. What you need to do, if getting to 100K in profit is your goal, or even 10K a month in profit is your target, all you need to do is take a slice of a big pie. You need to look at products that are already selling well, that other people have spent their money to validate so that you can just grab it, sell it better than them, or market it a little bit better than them, and take your slice of the pie. You don't need to reinvent things. Now, what this gives you is leverage because you're able to take advantage of all of the ad spend that your competitors and other people selling the product have used for you to then figure out what products work. So you don't have to do that yourself. You don't have to spend the time or the money to validate these products. You can see what's already working and then just take a slice of the big pie. Number 4, you need to follow one professor. So now that you've picked a business model and you've gone through these other steps, you need to pick one person to learn that business model from. Now, it doesn't mean you necessarily have to pay them. You could watch free YouTube videos like you're doing now. And my hope is with my channel that I can guide you through how to do absolutely everything for free. So you don't actually have to pay a professor. You can just follow what I'm teaching and I can teach you it all for free. But you need to pick one person to learn from. If it's not me, pick someone else. Regardless of what it is, regardless of the business model itself, you need to follow one professor. And I've seen the most success in my life and hit my goals more quickly when I was listening to one person for a particular business model. So once you've selected that business model, just follow one person. And that person should be in the spot where you want to be. Are they living the lifestyle that you want to live? Have they achieved the goals that you want to achieve? You want to follow the person that is in the position that you want to be in as well. And so follow that one professor. And what does that give you? That gives you guidance. It's someone who has walked the walk, they've followed the path, and so they know how to guide you through the steps to get there. That's number 4. Number 5, you need to ask yourself the unreasonable question. This is the one question that took me from a struggling entrepreneur at the start to one that's bringing in at the moment about $1 million a month in revenue and hundreds of thousands in profit. And it's asking yourself this one question that will instantly put you ahead of everyone else out there. And that question is, what would I have to do for it to be unreasonable that I don't hit my targets? For it to be unreasonable that I don't make 100,000 profit by the end of the year? Or be unreasonable that I don't make 10,000 a month in profit in 2 months' time, 3 months' time, whatever it is. You gotta ask, you need to add the unreasonable part in there. Because once you have a goal, you obviously need to break down how you're going to get there. And so by adding unreasonable into the question, you are forced to increase the level of output that you think is required to achieve the goal. And when you do that, even if it doesn't require all of that additional effort, that's the point of the exercise. You're making it unreasonable to think that you wouldn't achieve your goal because you're putting in all this effort, you're doing all these things that are required, you're going above and beyond. And so the chance of you achieving the goal is a lot more inevitable. And so that's the big question you need to ask. And why is this important and what does this give you? It gives you confidence in the fact that you have the blueprint to follow from the professor that you're following, and also the fact that you now have a game plan on exactly what you need to do. A game plan that if realistically you did everything on here, it would be unreasonable for you to not achieve the goal you set out to. And the final step is to do the 10 by 30 exercise. Now, the whole purpose of this video is not to make 100,000 profit at a mediocre pace or slowly or slow and steady. It's to do it as fast as possible. And so that will require a level of commitment and time investment, obviously, to achieve that very quickly. And so this exercise is saying for the next 30 days, I'm going to work 10 hours a day, no weekends, no days off. And you're going to commit that to yourself. And so that time would be filled with, if you chose to build an e-commerce store, learning, product research, building a store, creating ads, launching ads, reaching out to influencers to get them to create content for you. All these things that are involved in building a business like that. And if you did want to learn how to build a customer first e-commerce brand, the method that I've used to build a branded Shopify dropshipping store, and same method that has allowed me to get this trophy here for over 100,000 orders, then I've made a full 6.5-hour YouTube video that walks you through absolutely everything. And so you can watch that on my channel. And that could be where some of the 10 hours goes towards, following along with that video, using my templates that I give you, providing you with everything that you need, and then following through and actually taking action. And do that for a month, for 30 days. And what is this going to give you? This is going to give you results, because all of the other stuff aside, the work still needs to be done. And so if you commit to yourself to do 10 hours a day for 30 days, no breaks, no days off, then you are so much more likely to achieve your goals more quickly. That's not to say that you'll make 10,000 profit in the next 30 days, but it's a very strong chance that you've set the foundation for what is required to achieve that target. You've built a store, tested some products, you've launched, generating some profit, and all it will take is a bit more time for you to realize that goal. So that's how I do it. That's how I'd make $100,000 in profit as fast as humanly possible as a complete beginner to online business. And following these 6 steps and following this flow, I'm confident that you can achieve the targets that you set. Just to reiterate the steps along the path. Number 1, you need to choose a path. You need to pick an online business model that you're going to pursue. What that's going to give you is direction. You need to do the math. You need to break down what is required in terms of revenue, sales, orders, in order to achieve your profit target, whether that's monthly or annual, and that's going to give you clarity. You then need to take a slice of a big pie. Don't go and do something new. Go and sell a product that has already been sold before. Go and sell a service if you want to do agency that has already sold before. Go and deliver a freelancer service in person that other people are already doing and it's working. Don't try and reinvent the wheel. And what that's going to do is give you leverage because other people have validated it for you, so you can spend your time working on the thing that's going to work straight away instead of fumbling around and testing a bunch of things that no one's validated for you. Number 4, you need to follow one professor. Pick one person to learn from and follow their method from start to finish. What that's going to give you is the guidance that you need, especially when you're starting. You just want to follow someone who's in the position that you want to be in and follow what they say. Number 5, you need to ask yourself, what would I need to do that would make it unreasonable that I don't hit 100,000 in profit by the end of the year? Unreasonable that I don't hit 10,000 in profit in the next 90 days. Create that list, and what that's going to give you after answering that question is confidence, because you know that if you overstretch and if you aim for more output than what is generally required to hit that goal, you're going to have confidence in the fact that you can achieve it. And number 6, do the 10 by 30 exercise. Commit to working for 10 hours a day on this business model and on this framework for the next 30 days. And what that's going to give you is results, because all of this aside, the work still needs to be done. So I hope you've enjoyed this video and you can follow this framework to make 100,000 in profit as quickly as possible. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.